Welcome back to the City Current Show. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference and powering the good. And in this case, we're talking about technology and leveraging it to mentor high school students and first-generation college students for success and so much more. We're joined by the co-founder and director of community engagement with Backrs, Andy Bobowski. Andy, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Jeremy, for having me.
Absolutely. Well, let's go ahead and start out. Andy, give us some background and some context for launching Backrs.
Yeah, for sure. So first, Backrs is a social impact organization that leverages a digital platform to connect high school and first-generation college students with adults from across the United States that support them personally, professionally, and financially. So we're trying to take a very simple concept, one that everyone is familiar with, mentoring, and turning it on its head a bit in a few key ways.
One of the things that you do very effectively is you make it easy on all sides. You make it easy for the students, you make it easy for the mentors, and there's also, as you mentioned, a financial component. So talk about kind of the magic of how it works. Little bit of, skin in the game on both sides between time and finances, but a lot of impact.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So some of those key ways that we're different from a traditional mentoring model, first, we're online. So what we're trying to do is meet young people where they're at. We're working with students between the ages of 15 and 24, so high school students and college students, and we know that they're digital first. We also know that adults lead very busy lives, and we believe that there are millions of adults out there that would be very excited to pay it forward, give back, but don't have necessarily the time to do some more in-person or bigger time commitment activities. So by being online, folks can engage when it's convenient for them right from their phone in 10 to 15 minutes a week. The second thing that makes us a little bit different is we do a group backing model. Now that's really important for both groups here. For our young people, it means that they have more adults in their corner, right? They can tap into some expertise of someone that is proximate to them, but they can also connect with folks that live in different states from different backgrounds and different industries. And for the adults, it means that they can raise their hand and offer support and guidance or connections or resources if it's something that matches their own interests or backgrounds or their industry that they're a part of. And the last thing is that our young people get cash. So we partner with Title I high-performing charter high schools right now in Memphis and Nashville. And these are young people with huge dreams and aspirations, and for whom a little bit of cash can go a long way. In fact, one of our favorite pieces of research is that a young person that has even as little as $500 in a savings account is 4 times more likely to go to college and 3 times more likely to graduate from college. So our young people receive $100 to $150 a month that they can put straight towards their goals and aspirations. And that money comes through a combination of places, right? It comes through our employer partners, if they wish to sponsor any of their employees or match any of the investments that they're making. It also comes from individual backers. It's not a required part of our model, but of course we encourage it. And what we're finding is that the vast majority of adults out there are excited to contribute $10 a month, right? The price of 2 lattes from Starbucks, knowing that it goes directly to an awesome high school or college student that can really put that to good use.
And I think the power of it is the relationship. You're forming a relationship with the student. And so you want to pour in and help them because you can see just the power in terms of being able to pour in. Talk about that relational component, because to your point, you're talking a relatively small amount of time, big impact, but you're creating those relationships that really are powerful on both sides of the equation. So talk about the power of creating the relationships.
Yeah. So the first thing that we do is we work with students for a whole month before they're matched with their backers. And we're trying to do things that a typical high school curriculum doesn't offer. I'm a former high school and middle school principal myself, and we developed this in large part by my own experiences and in talking with lots of our partner schools. What are some of the things that you wish could be true for your students that you don't typically have time to do? So we work with students to do purpose development workshops and holistic goal setting. And we work with them a lot on networking and how to build a team of networks. So throughout this onboarding, young people start to develop or fine tune the things that they're excited to accomplish over the next few months and the next few years, right? And they also start to think about, hey, who are the folks that I want on my team? Then what we do is we propose a slate of backers, right? Folks that are joining our community from all over the city and all over the country. And the young people have a chance to review their profiles, learn a little bit more about them, and they are actually the ones that select their team. So if you're a backer that joins our community and you get selected, it means that the young person is really excited to have you on their team. That's a big deal, right? So then what we do once the match happens is we have a virtual event where we bring together the adults and the young people, and we welcome them to our community and we give them the opportunity with some guiding questions to get to know each other a little bit better, right? The young person, they get to share their goals and their aspirations and what they're doing at school and what they're studying, what they're excited about. And the backers have the opportunity to share a little bit more about their life and their experiences, what they also want to get out of the community. So that's really the first experience that members in our community have, right? And then from there, what we find is that our platform, our app, is a way to just further that relationship, right? There's actually been a lot of research that shows that once people are in connection with each other, social media, although we're not a social media platform, but same idea, can have a really good exponential factor in building that relationship. So our young people and our adults will often come together maybe once a month, once every 6 weeks, to set up a team Zoom call where they can check in on each other. But most of the engagement does happen right online, right on our app, or in one-off meetings if the backer and the young person are excited to dig into something together.
What's been some of the feedback, the testimonials that you've received so far?
Oh my goodness. So as you can imagine, we have a lot. We started last year with about 20 students last August in 2021, and we have close to 200 now. So we're really excited about the growth in our community, and the vast majority of our initial group of students was really excited to continue on with us. You know, what's been really interesting is that depending on what the student came into this program looking for, it's been really cool to see how they've shared that they've gotten that and or they've been exposed to other things, right? So we have a young lady, Jakayla, in our community that wants to be an architect. She doesn't know any architects, but through a connection from one of her backers, she's been able to have meetings with an architect who is able to share some different design apps. And now Jakayla's always playing around with those apps and sharing it with her team. We have another young lady in our community that wanted to be an optometrist. Again, didn't know any optometrist. She had the opportunity to connect with one, learn more about the field. She doesn't want to be an optometrist anymore, right? But that's half the battle. And then we have everything from our college students asking their backers, hey, can you give me any tips for how to ask for a raise at work? Or does anyone have any advice for how I can go talk to my professor during office hours? Or Yanette, who's a freshman at University of Tennessee at Knoxville, recently asked if one of her backers could support with her resume, right? And there are so many adults out there across those examples I just shared that could be so incredibly useful for any number of those things, right? And so our young people have been really excited to share what's working for them and where they've gotten a tremendous amount of support. And they're also telling us what else would be really useful. And that really catalyzed some of the new offerings that we're bringing to our community for young people. Things like sourcing scholarships for them, things like having guest webinars, speaker series, so that our young people can learn about all sorts of different careers and industries. And from backers, what we continue to find is that, you know, people are joining for different reasons. You know, we have backers that are right out of college. We have professionals that have young children and are really busy. We have backers in their 50s that are recent empty nesters and looking for a way to stay in community with young people. And then, believe it or not, we actually have backers in their 70s and 80s. And, you know, they're signing up for different reasons, but a common thread that we hear is that, one, these are amazing young people with really big goals and aspirations that deserve everything in the world, right? And they're excited to be a small part of that journey. And the second thing is they really value how we've set up the time commitment and the expectations. And, you know, when you think about it, a connection email or some words of advice or encouragement or support if a young person's having a rough day can go a really long way. And our proteges, that's what we call our young people, are always telling us, hey, I had a bad day. I shared that with my backers and they showed up, right? That is invaluable. And so our backers are sharing that this is something that they really value, and they can do it in a really short time commitment throughout the week.
You mentioned companies earlier on, and I think this is a great opportunity for companies to get involved and to open up the access for their employees, because just like you're talking about, everyone has something to offer, very low time commitment. You can do it in the comfort of your home or office. You can do it during a lunch break. So it's very convenient, but it gives companies a storyline around community engagement. It also, back to the relationship, it builds a relationship with the future leaders of our community. And these are also the future leaders for the corporations to be able to step in. So it's talent attraction, development, retention. It's all the above for everyone, for employees, but also for our future leaders. So talk about it from that lens of companies plugging in and giving access to their team, their employees, to be able to plug in.
That's right. And we think that that's a tremendous way to continue to build our community and activate the workforce. Now, one thing that's really cool is that our young people in our community, they want to be a wide range of things, right? We have young people that want to be realtors and others that want to be accountants. We have proteges that want to be doctors and nurses and psychologists, but then they also want to be graphic designers and game designers, right? And so we really do believe that almost any company that is excited to invest in young people and support their community, this is a great fit for, right? We know that employees are more engaged with the work that they're doing when they know that their company is spending time reflecting on and doing things that positively impact the world. And so this is a really great, again, high impact way to directly invest in the young people in the community. And what's even more powerful is that, right, given that we're working with college kids, that in our case, in Memphis and in Nashville and soon to be growing from there, is these are young people that are going to school all over the country. And this is some tremendous talent, right? We have proteges in our community that go to Northwestern and Wash U and UT Knox and Howard, right? All fantastic young people that would do really good for the city of Memphis. And we also see this as a great way for employers to get to know those young people and what are some of their hopes and dreams for when they land their first job. Not to mention all the data behind how important it is to know somebody that's working at the company to help you land your first job, which we're really excited about.
You mentioned getting the feedback and being excited about some new updates and things along those lines. Tease us a little bit with some of the next steps, next chapters, the vision moving forward.
Thank you. Yeah. So over the last year, we have been using a third-party white label platform as we've tested out the various aspects of our concept with a pretty small community, about 200 people. That includes our first 50 young people and about 150 adults. As I shared earlier, we're scaling pretty quickly. And over the last year, we've been building our own app, which we're very excited is going to be a part of the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. So we're super excited to bring this right to people's phones and have a lot of the functionality and the features that we literally designed alongside the young people in our community and the backers. So we've had the wonderful opportunity to bring some of those backers across a wide range of industries and age groups to test this thing out and give us feedback and tell us what works and what doesn't. And here's just an amazing example on the young person front. So we have this protege. I like to joke that he's probably our strongest protege. He's a football player. He squats about 500 pounds. I'm not joking. In his design feedback session, where we brought him in to test out some of the features on the app, he says, you know what? When I accomplish one of my goals that I've shared with my backers, once I'm able to hit like goal accomplished, I want there to be some confetti. So we built in some confetti for him, right? Just this idea that how can we make our app both incredibly user-friendly, but also keeping in mind that we have 17-year-olds and 70-year-olds. And of course, we have so much to learn, and we're going to keep developing this thing as we go. But we're really excited to release this and get this in people's hands so that more people from across the country can join our community.
Well, and who doesn't like a celebration with confetti, right?
That's right.
So talk about how we can get involved, especially for the students, for the proteges, for the adults, the mentors, the companies. How do we start taking those next steps?
First and foremost, encourage you to come to our website, www.backrs, backrs.com. We are looking for adults that are interested in supporting a young person in as little as 10 to 15 minutes a week when it's convenient for them. If you are an adult that has gone to college or has gone to trade school or has a set of life experiences, Backrs is for you, right? If you're someone that cares about the future generations, cares about young people in your community, Backrs is for you, right? And again, some of those examples I shared is people get to support and lean in when it matches their own strengths and aspirations. And when you get matched with a young person, you have the opportunity to do that. We're also really excited to bring on more employer partners, right? As a way to activate their workforce and allow their people across all the different departments within their company to lean into their own strengths too. So right on our website, you can learn more about us, sign up to be a backer. And if you're an employer and you're interested in joining, you can let us know that right on our website too.
We'll go ahead and mention again the website, social media. Where do we go to learn more?
www.backrs.com.
And that's BACKRS.com.
That's right.
So make sure everyone gets involved.
That's right. You can also, of course, find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn, Backrs or Backrs Community.
Well, Andy, greatly appreciate all you and your amazing team are doing. Excited for the future ahead. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, Jeremy. Appreciate it.